welcome back to the Mix Up. I want to first start by saying Happy New Year. I know you all have seen the episode this year already. However, this is the first recorded episode in 2024. So Happy New Year's and cheers to that. A few announcements and disclaimers before we get started. If you don't know, now you know. Like I told them on a podcast, your girl is having a baby. I'm having a girl. So if you see me running off camera to go spit, it is because with this pregnancy, I'm experiencing what you call hypersalivation, which means your hormones are super heightened and you spit all day. So that's what I'm going through. However, the show don't stop. So with that being said, tonight we are making beef stew. We are making beef stew per request of Boo. So we will be trying it this time with steak. Now, I know that sounds crazy because it's like, what do you mean beef stew? Yeah, we ain't really feeling like the chunks of beef. So steak is beef, duh. So we're going to use beef. So we're going to cut the beef up into smaller bites and we're going to do it the same way. So let's go ahead and get started on the beef stew. Now, we are making a side of mashed potatoes and our vegetables are going to go in our beef stew. So we don't need to add any greens to it. Now, I'm also going to show you all how to make a special cornbread. This is not regular cornbread. It's corn casserole cornbread. Now, I know that sounds like what the heck, but it's delicious. And when I tell you, you're going to love it, you're going to love it. So I hope you all are ready for a good time. I'm super excited for this meal. So let's go ahead and get started. Y'all know the first thing we're going to do is get these potatoes peeled because we need to get our potatoes on for our mashed potatoes. So that's what we're about to do. Actually, I'll take that back. We're going to get started on our meat because I just thought about something. I got my crock pot going. I forgot to disclaim that. See, pregnancy brain. Bear with me, y'all. So look, I have my crock pot going and I have maybe about not even a fourth of water in there. So it's been running for, I say, about 30 minutes to 40 minutes. So it's hot. So we're going to go ahead because we still got to brown our meat before we actually put it in a crock pot. Now, I only put that little bit of water right now. I'm not saying that's the only amount of water that's going to go in there, but we got to remember we're adding other stuff to it. So we don't want to drown it in water. So I have beef broth, as y'all can see in the camera. So just wait, I got y'all. So let's go ahead and get started on the meat. All right, for all my steak connoisseurs, this is your New York steak. I ain't no steak connoisseur. I just grabbed a steak that looked like it was going to be easier for me to cut. It ain't, that deep for me. But I did get this from Target. Y'all know usually I'm at Walmart. But I saw these at Target and they were at a decent price. So I went ahead and grabbed these. Food is high, y'all. Oh, my God. Now, y'all probably wondering why I got this big old sweater on instead of my chef's coat. Number one, I'm pregnant. So, where is it going? Number two, it's kind of chilly. It is a cold day in Illinois. So, your girl got to go ahead and do something a little different. However, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, y'all know I'm going to rinse this meat off. So let's go ahead and get these to the sink and then I'll be back. So now that our meat is clean, you want to make sure you pat it dry. So I'm going to go ahead and pat it dry on camera so you all can see because I do this as well. Pat that meat dry, y'all. Make sure even the space that you have the meat on is dry. You might have to use 2 paper towels. These are some pretty big steaks. So I'm going to go ahead and get these steak strips cut up. So while I go ahead and cut my meat, y'all know I'm going to go ahead and vibe to some music. But before I vibe to some music, y'all already know I have to share a memory because that's what we doing. And I kind of steered away from that last year when I started the cooking show. And that's what it's all about, you know, memories in the kitchen, making memories in the kitchen. My favorite memory of beef stew, guys, I would have to say would be my grandfather. He made some good beef stew. Like, I cannot even think of nobody beef stew that could compare to it. May God rest his soul. He was a great, great, great cook. Now, he used pot roast for his beef stew, but he also did use the beef stew chunks. You know, a lot of stores sell the beef that's already cut into the little small cubes. But to me, they're kind of big. But I would say that would have to be my favorite memory. I can't say that I've ever made it with him, but he's made it for me plenty of times. Excuse me, in us living at our grandparents' house and visiting. He has made it multiple times. So that is my favorite memory of beef stew. Drop in the comments your favorite memory of beef stew or your favorite recipe of beef stew. If you have a family recipe, if you didn't want to share the secret, that's cool. We understand, but help us out. Share those memories. I really, really enjoy a nice home cooked meal. This is like a warm food. This that comfort food that you kind of cuddle up under. It's like that chicken noodle soup and chili food. It's up in that category. So we about to get this beef stew started. Now that our beef is all cut up, you should have a bowl full of small steak chunks or steak bites. Now this is some beef broth. It came straight from Wally World, Walmart, great value version. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that into my crock pot since it's already on and it's warm. We're gonna go ahead and pour it in there so our juices can start getting warm. So while that is getting warm, I actually cut my eye on low that I'm going to actually brown these steak bites in or beef bites in. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the seasonings first, of course, and then we're going to go ahead and get those browned up. So y'all already know you need some olive oil. That's the best. You go ahead, put you a little olive oil on your meat. You don't need much, a nice drizzle. That's it. Now, you know you're going to need some meat tenderizer. Use the meat tenderizer of your preference. Onion powder, garlic powder. You definitely going to need some Kinders. That lemon butter garlic, thank me later. I promise you. Then you're going to get you some total seasoning. I love Lori's, but everybody uses what they like. And then you know you're going to need some parsley, and I would say thyme, but I'm not going to use thyme this time. Time this time, y'all get it? This onion roasted potatoes. Y'all need this. The recipe soup mix, the onions, seasoning. You need it. You need it. But hold on. So let's go ahead and season up this meat. All right, y'all, we got some seasoned meat, so it's time to really get this show on the road. If you don't already got you some garlic herb butter, I didn't taught y'all well, you should already have you some. That should be on the grocery list. However, get you some garlic butter or regular butter if that's all you got. I'm going to give you a pass. If you got a little fresh garlic in the refrigerator, sprinkle you a little bit in there with your butter. However, those of us who listen, garlic butter. We're going to go ahead and get this in our skillet and we're going to start browning this meat. So we're going to go on over to the stove. So I'm going to take a little scoop of our garlic butter. Let me give me a spoon. Rinse this off. Hold on, y'all. All right, we're going to take a little bit of our garlic butter. It's been out for a minute, so it's a little soft, but that's all right. We're going to take our spoon and we're going to scoop us, I'll say, a nice amount, about a fourth. Let's say a fourth. So get all of it though, because you know that garlic butter, it'll stick on the little wrapper. So get all of it. Put you some garlic butter in there. I'm going to use my hand and put it all in there, okay? All right, so now we're going to let our garlic butter warm up. We're going to get our eye on about a medium heat. Now, what you can do in the meantime, I always believe in working smart, not hard. So, we know we got to get some potatoes on in the next 10 minutes, right? So, let's go ahead and turn our eye on now for our potatoes. So, they are on. Now, I'm going to turn it on low because remember, we don't need it too high, but we want it enough. Now, I shouldn't have thrown that spoon away, moving too quick. Look, because see now, gotta rinse it back off. And we're going to put another fourth of garlic butter in our water for the potatoes. Remember, we working smart, not hard. Alright, keep my little napkin over here by me. Cool. Alright, y'all, so our butter is melted. We're going to go ahead and get our steak in the pan. Get it all in there. And then we are just going to make sure all of the meat is around and getting cooked. And we're going to cover this and let this simmer for a minute, y'all. Yep. It's going to do its thing. We got it on about medium heat. We don't want it to cook too fast, but we don't want it to cook too slow. And we're going to get our top and let this do its thing. All right, y'all, our meat is on. So now it's time to prep our vegetables. We have some carrots. All we really got to do is wash these off. So we just going to dump these in our bowl because there's not much to do with them. But I am going to go through them. And whatever look kind of dark and dull, we ain't using it. Because I don't like that type of stuff on my food. So carrots, they look pretty good. So I got the carrot chips because it's just easier. I didn't want to cut up a whole bunch of carrots today. Then we got some celery. So of course celery you do have to cut up. So we're going to chop up maybe 2. I'm going to take 3 off just in case. But I know we're not going to use all of that. And then we got some baby tomatoes. Potatoes. I didn't say tomatoes. And then of course some onion. Now, I was debating if I was going to put a bell pepper in there, and I don't think I am, so I'm going to pass. However, we are going to do this onion, and I'm going to cry. So, let's go and get this stuff chopped up. I'm going to vibe to some music again, and then I'm going to go through the seasonings because we got to season this up so it can be prepped for when it's time to go in the crock pot. Let's do it. All right, all our vegetables are cut up, onions, potatoes, carrots, and celery. So now we're going to season them up with the same seasonings we just used for the meat. So go in with your total seasoning and feel free to get a little, extra with the seasoning. You got to remember it's going to go in here because it got to be a stew. Okay? Cool. So then we got some onion powder. You don't need a lot since you got onions in there. A little garlic powder. Of course, this lemon butter from Kinder's. All right, so now we got to get this mixed up. Get all these vegetables nice and seasoned. So I was going to use my hand, but I don't feel like that. So I'm going to use a spoon. And you just gonna mix it up. And that butter garlic, y'all, I'm telling you. Thank me later. It smells so good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add a little Italian seasoning. Italian seasoning always do the trick and just do something for me. And that butter garlic smells so good. I'm just gonna add some more just cause yeah, heavy on it. I had to order this. And now we just gonna mix it around. Now like I tell y'all, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned. Your vegetables should look edible. Like I could eat this. Literally. That's how it should look. Our meat looks amazing. The steak is just about done. I'm just going to give y'all like a real close look. Like, look at that. Yes. So we want it just about done before we go ahead and put it in a crock pot. So that's exactly what we about to do. All right. This crock pot is hot. So to your crock pot, you are going to add some total seasoning, a little garlic, a little onion, and your Kinder's lemon butter garlic, of course. Some Italian. Now this is the secret ingredient. You do not need a name brand one. As y'all can see, it came from Walmart. Great value. The Worcestershire sauce. The W sauce. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Add a little bit at the bottom. And then I also put a little bit after I put my meat in here. So we're going to go ahead and get our meat put in here as well. Now here's our meat off the stove. I'm just going to go ahead and let it go in. Again, you don't need a whole lot of water or broth, which is why I didn't put a lot, because it shouldn't take long to cook either. So you're going to make sure you get the meat in there really good, stir it around. Now here's the fun part. Remember that onion seasoning mix I told you to have? Yeah, this is where it comes in. You're going to put the pack in there. You're also going to put you a little bit more W sauce. Put a little bit more. Or a lot bit if you like me. And then we putting this back over there. Cool? Cool. Crock pot time. Here we come. Now, ideally, I would say let's go ahead and start the potatoes. But because this cornbread in particular takes a little bit longer, we're going to go ahead and get that started. So this is regular Jiffy mix, but this is the honey one. Now you're going to take one bag of the honey and one bag of the regular. This is some special cornbread, y'all, so I'm trying to tell you. You only need a half a bag of the regular. You don't need a full bag. So when you get it, you only going to get a little bit. Now, I get the cheap corn, the 69, 59, whatever cent corn it is, because it's going inside. It's really not going to matter. So, put your little half bag in here. And then the rest of this, I don't know, we're going to eat half a thing of cornbread, but nobody is in my house, so we're going to go and toss this to the side. Cool? Then you need sweet corn that is whole kernel, and you need cream corn. Great value version, y'all. 50 cents, 69, whatever. Because it is a little wasteful. You don't need the whole can. When you open the can, you only going to use a half a can of each. Cool? Cool. Now, this should go without saying, but I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Strain that juice out that corn. Don't put all that salty juice in your cornbread, okay? Let me not even play like that if I be crying about my finger. Alright, so like I said, you're only going to use half of this can because you don't need the whole thing. Boom. That's half. Then we're going to go ahead with our cream corn. There you go. Now, you need 2 eggs because we did use 2 boxes of cornbread. So 2 eggs. We're going to put it in there. Boom. Another egg. Crack that and get it in there. Boom. Now, your next step, sour cream. Do not put the, not my sour cream, not even open. Hold on. I thought it was open. Well, it wasn't. Sour cream. I'll measure it. Don't put too much though, y'all. And then a little bit of oil. Just a tinge. Or a tinge and a half. I don't measure that either. But I would say like a 4th cup if I'm being honest, I guess. Now we're going to whisk it up. So, use the whisk at least to get the chunks out the cornbread and to get your eggs through your mix. At least. Now, a lot of people are better with a spoon. I'm a lot of people. I'm much better with a spoon. And guess what? I'm left-handed. But you know what? We still got to add the main ingredient. Water. Now, I'm one of them people, I don't just use water in my cornbread. I use a little milk. So, we're going to go on and add it so we can whip this really, really good. Alright, your oven should already be preheated to 350 and your pan should be out. We're going to go ahead and get our cornbread into our pan. And this probably is going to be a thick cornbread, I'll tell you. So, it's going to take a minute to cook all the way through. Now last, certainly but not least, we doing our potatoes, mashed potatoes. Homemade mashed potatoes, love me some mashed potatoes. I'm sitting here trying to debate if I want to go ahead and peel them or do them regular without the peeling. I ain't decided yet. However, into our water, we're going to put a regular half a stick of butter. Remember, we already put a 4th stick of the garlic butter. You're also going to put a little garlic powder. Notice I said powder, not salt. Y'all notice we don't use no salt. A little parsley. And a little salt. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and peel them. It's only 4. So I'm going to get that started. Y'all already know I'm going to turn on some music while I peel and cut these potatoes. And then we will come back when it's time to get them in our water. Y'all should already know potatoes are really not that hard. Homemade mashed potatoes are the best. I hate packaged mashed potatoes. I probably will never eat them again. But yeah. So let's get these potatoes done. And depending on how full it look after I'm done cutting them all up, I'm going to decide, I guess, if I'm going to get another potato just to be on the safe side to make sure it's enough. So, yep, let's do it. All right, all my potatoes are cut up, so I'm going to go put these in the water and let them cook for a while, and then we'll be back to mash them. Cool. All right, y'all. At this point in the game, meat has been on for at least 30 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and add our vegetables to the crock pot. And then we're going to take a break because guess what? Everything is on and cooking. We got about 30 more minutes before everything is finished. And then dinner will be served. And we're going to see what the people got to say. All right, y'all. I got a headache, so I took my glasses off. However, our potatoes are done. We strained them to the pot with the potatoes that are softened and strained. I added a little parsley for color, black pepper, and another half a stick of butter. And then that's it. We're going to mash it up and get these done. Now, I am going to add some heavy whipping cream just because it makes it a little bit creamier, but not too much. If I had to give y'all a measurement, I would say like a 1/4 cup. Nothing more than that.
All right, y'all, we got an improv. We having technical difficulties. I did not realize when I was recording that my microphone went out. So because it went out, we going to do this voiceover. And like I said, we're having beef stew with vegetables, with homemade mashed potatoes, and cream cornbread. So we're going to see what the people have to say. As y'all can see in the video, he is tearing the food up. He gave it a 10 out of 10. So y'all already know what I'm going to say. Like this video. And of course, comment and let me know. Let me know what y'all recipes be like. Let me know what y'all beef stew tastes like. Or if you have a different way of doing it. I'm definitely down to learn.
But most of all, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And I'll see y'all in the next video.